All right, everybody in DGE world. Today we have a special guest. All right, so I'm going to introduce to you a multifaceted and talented creator of comics. He is setting the indie comic scene by storm. As a Mad Cave Studios talent search winner, his exceptional storytelling has breathed life into unforgettable narratives that are very fun and characters. His works span several captivating comics, each filled with rich plots and dynamic heroes. Y'all, it's an honor to welcome the brilliant comic book creator, Damien Becton, to the show. Let's give him a round of applause. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, DeMarcus, for having me on. I'm glad I'm able to be a part of the show. I appreciate you guys.
Yes, yes,
Absolutely. We
yes.
appreciate you, man.
So let's just start off this show like we start off every show.
Mm-hmm,
Damien, tell us about your previous week. How
Man,
was it?
it was good. So I don't think anyone knows, but I'm in education. So I was on summer break. I taught for 10 years. Now I'm an administrator, but I actually had to work last week. Can y'all believe that? I actually had to go into the
mm,
office and
mm,
plan for the upcoming school year. But it
Yeah.
was good. It was good seeing a lot people not in their teaching clothes and in their education clothes, just getting ready for the school year. It was fun.
mm-hmm.
Played Final Fantasy 9. I'm doing
Nine.
uh, a replay through from back in 2000, 24-year
Okay.
old game. I went back to Final Fantasy 9. I played a lot of Final Fantasy 9 last week.
Is that your favorite
Um,
one, Final Fantasy 9?
Final Fantasy 7 is my favorite, and then Final Fantasy 9. I
As
actually,
it should be. As
yeah,
it should.
I don't know if y'all
DeMarcus, you
ever
haven't
played
played
it.
either one. Yeah. No,
You can
he
do
should say
the
actually should be because my favorite is Final Fantasy. It's very controversial. My favorite is Final Fantasy 8.
well, no, I liked it. It was, I don't think it's anyone besides your favorite,
Right. Exactly. What?
but it was,
DeMarcus, you
I
never even played it
enjoyed it. I
before.
enjoyed it as well.
You're right. I haven't played Final Fantasy 8, but I played 7, I played 10, played a bunch of different ones. But
Yeah.
Damien,
Yeah.
continue. You're weak, sir. Seeing folks
Yeah,
out there
no,
teaching
but
code.
I played a bunch of Final Fantasy. I'm getting ready for the school year. I don't know, was this past week Deadpool? No, that was the
Ooh.
week before.
Yeah.
But every week I go to New Comic Book Day. So I picked up some every Wednesday. I picked up
Mm-hmm.
X Force. I know me and Jared were just talking about X-Men and Krakoa and everything, but there's a new X Force that I picked up. I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
Jeffrey Thorne wrote that, and I'm a big fan of him. So
Okay.
I I'll be reading that sometime soon.
It's
Nice.
good. It's good. It makes you excited for what's about to happen. Even though
Okay.
the Krakoa age is done, it made me excited for that book.
I've been trying to figure
Oh,
out what X-Men comics to start reading next because I do have I have the Illuminati one. Is it not the
Mm.
Illuminati? The Immortal X-Men is the one I was reading. Yeah.
mhm.
Immortal. Yeah,
That was from the Krakoa age.
Hmm.
that came out not too long ago. I was just telling Jared I missed all of that.
Mm.
Um, and he was telling me it started back during the pandemic when the pandemic started.
Really?
So it was like almost 5 years now, or four
Oh
years
Mhm.
now.
yeah. And I just
Um,
only reason I caught the tail end of it is because of Jared. He's more on top of the comics than I am.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
was um there if you are looking to get into it, I was just talking to Jared. He said he's not excited for it, but this is
Mm.
a perfect jumping
Yeah,
on
it's a
point.
perfect
You're
time
right.
to get into
You're
it.
right.
There's
Okay.
like three different X-Men books coming out right now.
Hmm.
Did you read X-Men #1? I think it was last week or the week before.
Yeah. Um, I was confused
Me too.
because of Beast.
Hmm.
I know Beast was had his own thing going on in Wolverine, but I'm
Yeah.
Hmm.
guessing this is a new Beast or a new old Beast.
It's
If you go ahead, I'm sorry.
so he's an old beast. He's the beast from the Avengers era.
Okay. How did that
So,
happen?
Hmm.
Did they explain
something,
that?
yeah, they explained it in X-Force, the previous X-Force. Um, because of how Beast's mind has been turning more evil since the decimation events, they
Hmm.
decided to roll his mind back to the Avengers era when he was all 100% good. So
Okay.
Hmm.
without any corruption, they decided to take Beast back to the good Beast. So that
So
is
he
Beast.
so he knows nothing about the Krakoa era,
No, no,
or he
he
might know.
does because he was reading, watching feeds about the Crow era when he
Okay.
was cloned again. So he knows what happened and he knows about what his counterpart did during the
Hmm.
Krakoa era. So yeah,
Okay, I can get down with that. That's
but
Oh,
that's that's comic books for you right
that's
there.
comic books.
yeah.
But I was confused a lot by Cyclops's uh how they drew him because he's very skinny. He looks like the teenage
Hmm.
Cyclops.
Oh yeah.
Did you
He
notice that?
I know the artist, even Ryan Stegman is the artist on that. And Ryan Steg he just draw he like bulky, huge people. But you're right. I did notice that too. Even the Beast looks a little bit different. I'm not even gonna say
Yeah.
bad. It just looks he looks different.
Yeah.
But I'm always like excited to see different artists' interpretations of characters. It's always really cool to
Hmm.
see how one artist would draw whatever.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not so uh upset about Beast because, he got regressed back to the Avengers era Beast, but Magneto had a great part in this comic book where he kind of shades Beast because he
Hmm.
mentions how he propelled each of the other five X-Men up to where they are now. And
Hmm.
then he doesn't mention Beast at all right in front of his face. So
Yeah.
it was kind of shady.
So this
Yeah.
is this is in all in X-Men #1.
This is X-Men #1 that came out a few weeks ago.
Okay, I gotta get into that one. That sounds pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Because I'm after this whole like Magneto was right run like hashtag and stuff. I'm ready to see. I want to see a comic starring X-Men comic starring Magneto.
Is there gonna be one star Magneto? I think there is. I'm not sure, but
Okay.
Magneto's living in the Antarctica right now. So yeah,
Oh,
he's great. Is Antarctica or Alaska? One of those.
Yeah.
Alaska
Anyways,
sounds more probable.
yeah. So Damien, tell me, have you played my favorite RPG of the 2000s, BG3, Baldur's Gate 3?
I have not. No,
Oh,
my brother
yikes.
has. He's
Okay.
that's one of the dungeon crawlers, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's based on
Yeah.
Dungeons and
My
Dragons.
brother is a huge fan of those. But I never got into it. I watched him play it. I've watched playthroughs on YouTube and like this is something that I wanted I would play, but I just never got into it.
Is it the
You got,
time commitment? Like how much time
Yeah.
it's going to take? Yeah.
Yep.
okay, yeah.
Even like Final Fantasy 14, the MMORPGs, like,
Hmm.
because I have coworkers who just they said it takes up their whole life after school, after work. And I'm like, I could, I want to, but it's just it's I'm afraid that if I get into it, that's just gonna be my life, which
Yeah.
isn't a
Yeah.
bad thing, but I just it just never came around to it.
I mean, you could just be like me, and it takes you years to finish games. Like I'm just now about to finish Jedi Survivor, and I've been playing that game for over a year.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, like Spider-Man 2.
Oh, wow.
I got Spider-Man 2. I beat Miles Morales. I beat the first one. Well,
Hmm.
actually, I don't even think I beat the first one. I know I beat Miles Morales,
Yeah,
but they're just sitting there.
play 15 to 30 minutes a day and call it that.
Yep,
Don't play again for a
Yeah.
week.
yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Got to relearn how to play the game. I'm like,
I
oh,
hate that so
Yeah.
much. When you get into a game, you're like, I don't remember the buttons.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is a top sync. I think I finished it with 117 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's a
But
good amount of time, right?
that's
Oh my
a
God.
yeah, that's a good amount of time.
When did it come out? When did Baldur's Gate 3 come out?
August of 2003.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
2023?
2020. I always do that.
Why?
2023. But there's this part and it's three acts. It's a game in three acts. And I made it to the third act and it's a city and there are so many people there. I had to shut the game off for a month because it was just overwhelming. It was
Yeah.
Mm.
overwhelming how many people were there.
Baldur's Gate 3 got like so many awards, didn't it, last
They
year?
got
It won
every award.
so many things. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna come back. That was always on my my list to come back to,
Yeah.
um, because of the accolades it got. But there's so many games I want to play too.
So did you see Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah,
Okay.
I I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes, it's really it's not a great way to measure if you would like it or not. It's
Mhm.
more of, if a critic gives it thumbs it down or a thumbs up. But I was looking at
Mhm.
it because I was just curious. It did get the lowest Rotten Tomato score out of the three Deadpool movies. But I really enjoyed it the most. I
Me
recently
too.
watched Deadpool 2 for
Okay.
the first time a couple weeks ago, and I really liked it. But I just think, Deadpool 2 just having the whole Wolverine thing, and
Yeah.
him doing spoilers, but him doing the whole Wolverine thing towards the end. I thought that was, as a geek, as a nerd, as a comic book
Mhm.
nerd for 25 years, that was pretty much the highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it last week too. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I was hoping for more depth. Like Jerry, you
Okay.
warned me last week that the plot was not you're not there for the plot.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the point of this? And I was like, but it was like as a nerd, as a geek, like all the cameos, like I loved Gambit, as ridiculous as he was.
Yeah.
Um, but it was just like I wanted it to tie into like a larger story. I wanted more from it. I wanted it to be like a pivotal movie instead of just like a fun movie to go see.
Mm. It was a very fun movie. How did y'all feel about Blade? Oh my God, that had me out of my
Oh yeah.
seat.
That
Yeah.
was like I usually go into Marvel movies just having spoilers
Hmm.
either on purpose or on accident. But
Hmm.
I went into this one like intentionally avoiding spoilers. I didn't want to know anything. And then when my girlfriend was asleep next to me in
Mm.
the
Oh
movie theater.
wow.
Hmm. She went to
But when
sleep on it.
she fell asleep, it was for like she said she didn't even know she fell asleep.
Mm.
But it was for like 10 minutes.
Hmm.
But when I
God.
saw Blade, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
That part got ruined for me like right before I went to the theater because I was on Instagram
No.
and I saw Wesley Snipes doing the interview and he was like, what did you say when Ryan Reynolds asked you to be in a Deadpool movie? I was like, what? And then I walked in and I was like, well, all right, I guess I'm gonna see Wesley Snipes at some point.
Yep.
So
Even
how
the
did
Chris Evans one, I didn't even know
oh
about that.
yeah, that
That one was
one.
crazy.
I knew
Yes.
as soon as I saw Chris Evans, I knew it was gonna be Johnny Storm, but I didn't know he
Hmm.
was gonna be in there. I was like, "There's no way that's Captain America."
So you caught it. I didn't catch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember watching the old Fantastic Four movies when I was a kid. My dad taking me
Mm.
to the one with Jessica Alba as the Invisible Woman. I remember though, I was like, "There's no way." Especially when I saw the little shawl covering up his chest, I was like, "No,
Yeah.
that's Johnny Storm."
Hmm.
But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. That was really they. I don't know how Marvel did it, but they kept a lot of that under wraps for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did a good
Yeah.
job.
Well, it's Marvel. They're great at that. Finally, how did y'all feel about Cassandra Cain's portrayal in this movie? Did y'all like it or did
I
y'all
loved her like reach into your head and like reach
yeah.
your mind that way
The
thing.
visual
Like,
of that
yeah,
was amazing.
yeah, but like the way she would do it, she'd just be like sticking her fingers through your nose and stuff. It was like I was like, oh, that's creepy.
Yeah,
I
Hmm.
loved it. I want her to be the big bad of Marvel now.
Yeah, she needs to come
I
back for
wasn't
another movie.
say that again.
Oh, I said she needs to come back for another movie
I
and
hope
like
she
do
does. She was
stuff.
great.
She
Yeah.
was great.
I didn't know anything about Cassandra before this movie, so I'm curious. Is she pretty accurate to the comics?
She led the destruction of Genosha.
Oh
So
God.
she's very evil.
Hmm.
She does come back in the Krakoa era. Nobody trusts her or like her, but because they give villains a um, amnesty for
Hmm.
unless they do something wrong again, she got to be, welcomed in.
Okay.
But it's a
Hmm.
very interesting thing that you have this mass upon mass genocidal murderer right there at your bar.
She really is the twin of the unborn twin of Professor X.
Hmm.
And that's,
Yeah,
I think that's really interesting that like
That is
in
really, yeah.
most universes she's not born, and then
Mhm.
in like the one where she's born, she's like, oh, I'm taking over everything.
all right, guys. So on this part, um, we like to give a nod to one piece of media, whether it's TV, movies, comics, whatever. And this part is sponsored by MoviePass. DeMarcus, can you tell them a little bit about
Hmm.
MoviePass?
Yeah. Damien, do you know about Movie Pass?
No, let us know.
Huh? Oh, man, Movie Pass. So it's an app, but it's a subscription service where that lets you go see movies in multiple theaters for like a monthly fee, right? Um, for a long time, I was doing like the $10 tier, and then I can see like 3 movies in any theater a month. And it's a point system now where like you get a certain number of points, and like if you go see a matinee, it costs fewer points than if you go see like a late night, opening night movie. So however you want to swing it, you can, might be able to swing your points to 4 movies. But they came out like a long time ago, and they
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, you pay a monthly fee, you can see as many movies as you want." A bunch of stuff happened. They got a movie on what HBO about it,
Yeah.
about movie Crash or something like that. But they're back now with a much better business plan, and it's great. It's great. Like instead of paying, like you use it one time and it pays for itself. Instead of paying $15 for one movie, you pay them $10 a month. You can go see at least 2 or 3 movies.
Oh, that's dope. I need to
Hmm.
I need to jump on that because
Yeah.
I was just go ahead and buying $20 tickets
Yeah.
Exactly.
twice a month.
Like,
Boy.
boy, like I went to go see
But
Deadpool and it was an $18.59 ticket in the middle of a Thursday afternoon. I was like,
it was opening night though. That was like open. That was like pre-opening day or something because it's supposed to come out Friday.
no, no, they had another premiere, whatever premiere with
Mhm.
Deadpool, and that was like $10. I'm like, what is this? But anyway, um, I'm not pandering to our base like Kid Rock and at the Trump rally. I'm not going to pander, but this week
Mhm.
I got to give it up to a very great comic that I just read. It's called Nottingham, issue number 5. It was,
Mhm.
first of all, you started the cover. This cover makes you think that it's going to be some bloody um uh extremely Assassin's Creed thing. And then you open the book and it is. It's exactly what I wanted from anything that I read, watch,
Mhm.
experience. Tons of blood, tons of gore. This is a story about it's like a reimagining, re-imaging of the Robin Hood tale.
Mm.
And it's very interesting. It's more gritty, as I said. It's it's really, really more bloody, but it tells an
Yeah.
amazing story that keeps you interested. Like I had to flip back pages. I was so into the artwork, but I was like, okay, what happened? Like that was really, really good. But yeah, uh, but I will say that this book made me squint my eyes a little bit, like when I got that
Mhm.
first uh uh panel, the first part when I opened my book, um, it showed one of the only people of color in the book getting murdered. I'm like, what's going on? We have the creator of this book on the show with us, so I can ask him, Damien, what was going on with this book? Oh
Okay.
no, I mean that first panel. What was going on that first panel?
Yeah. So a couple years ago in 2021, Jared already shouted it out, but I was a Mad Cave Studios talent search winner. And they do it every year. If you guys are interested, they're looking for, I think this year they're looking for like three writers, three artists. In 2021, I actually won. I was one of three or four writers to win. And our reward was to write an issue of Nottingham, Tales from
Mm.
Nottingham. And it's exactly how you described it. It's a gritty version, a dark, gritty version of Robin Hood. So it wasn't my universe that I was playing in. It was David Hazan's universe
Hmm.
that I got to write an issue for. And he imagined Robin Hood rather, as this hyper religious, super evangelical
Oh,
terrorist
Hmm.
in England.
oh, yeah.
And that's what I was going for. I wanted him to be this relentless,
Mm.
merciless kind of guy. And when I was thinking about it, that's what it was. And I wasn't sure about that scene. If you didn't hear Jared, it was somebody getting murdered right at the beginning.
Hmm.
And I wasn't sure about that scene when I wrote it. And then when I pitched it to David, who was the original writer of Nottingham, he was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for." I was like, "Okay, I got to do that."
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so I had to channel my inner David Hazan. Shout out to David Hazan because he's a really great guy.
Mhm.
He actually has a comic book coming out this Wednesday from Mad Cave. Shout out to Mad Cave too, because Mad Cave is letting me live out my dream. I was always my dream to have a comic in comic book shops.
Nice.
But yeah, so to answer your question, Jared, I wanted to write something to show Robin Hood was this vicious guy, this super religious, evangelical kind of guy that we see nowadays in our own world.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully I wasn't happy writing it either.
Hmm.
So yeah, thank you, thank you, Jared.
Well,
Nah.
now that you say it like that, I think that my viewpoint of him, because like with that panel, it was like this
Yeah,
guy isn't a good guy. But then
yeah, he's not. He was
yeah, but
not.
then you
No.
read it and you're like, should I be rooting for him? But then that opening panel though. But yeah, that okay. So when you say all
Thanks
that,
for
it
checking
makes
it out, though,
sense.
man. I appreciate that. I
Of
really appreciate
course.
checking it out.
Of
That's cool.
course.
That's cool. Was a lot of that written for you, or did they have like, oh, like these are things we want you to cover in this issue, or something like
Yeah.
that, or was it carte blanche?
So when we did it, he has an outline because he's on
Mm,
like issue 15 now. And this
Okay.
is just like a little side anthology, like a little side project that kind of feeds into the main story.
Hmm.
But for this issue, he said, okay, this has to happen, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. But everything else, I just filled in the blanks. So
mm,
Nice.
that beginning that Jared was talking about, no,
Yeah.
he didn't give me that part. That was just kind
Yeah.
of the part that I added to it. The ones that he did want me to put was that he came back to England from off the top of my head, and then he had to fight Little John on the bridge. I don't know if you guys ever watched the old Robin Hood with Dave Chappelle,
Mm,
Men in
Robin Hood
mm.
Men in
Tights.
Tights.
Men in tights.
So,
Yeah.
so when they were fighting with the six, that's my first memory. But he said those two things had to happen pretty much, and then I filled in the gaps. So it
Mm,
was
Nice.
fun.
Nice.
yeah.
That sounds
Yeah, it
dope.
was fun. A
Um,
very fun comic book. Like I was like, wow. I mean, reading that comic was more of an experience. So Damien, do you have oh, go ahead, DeMarcus.
oh, I was about to ask a question that you're about to ask. Go ahead.
Damien, do you have anything that you would like to put our listeners onto? Anything in media?
Um, yeah, not my own stuff here. Let me get it real quick. This past week I read I don't know if you can see it.
Oh,
Well,
Blood
I've been
Hunt.
reading Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt. It's
Mm.
the latest Marvel event, the summer event, and I'm glad we were talking about Blade because Blade is. I love Blade. I love Blade growing up, and he was possessed most of this event.
Blade is possessed.
He was possessed this
All right.
whole event. Um, but the final issue came out this week, and I was a huge fan. You know, a lot of times people will say Marvel or just big DC and Marvel events, you know, are hit and miss. But I was a huge fan
Mm-hmm.
of Blood Hunt. I don't, and Blade was like front and center most of the story. I was a huge fan of it.
Nice. Okay. And Blood Hunt is an event, not just like one comic, right?
Yeah, so it had so many tie-ins. There's no way you could
Mm.
keep up with. There's so
I
many
Yeah.
love a
tie-ins.
good tie. Yeah.
But I
Jared
liked it.
actually
I
got me
liked it a
into
lot.
Jared actually got me into like my first tie-in way back when. Was it like 2015, 2014? I think it was like Marvel versus X-Men or something like that.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
Avengers versus X-Men.
Avengers versus X-Men. I'm sorry. Yeah. Avengers
Yeah,
versus
that was
X-Men.
really good too.
Saw the Phoenix, saw me for Phoenix
They were
5,
all
that whole
fighting for the
thing.
Phoenix.
And
Yep.
then the incursions. I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, cool, man. If I
Both
could put everybody onto something.
Well, let me just say right quick,
um,
both of the summer events from the major comic creators are
Mhm.
really good. Blood Hunt was really good. Them trying to
mm,
figure out why the world was dark was amazing.
Yeah.
And the other big tie-in from DC, Absolute Power, is really good too.
mm,
It tells a story about how the Amazo robot is stealing the power from all the main villains. And it starts off with Superman actually getting shot. So
hmm
yeah,
oh,
both of the tie-ins are really good
Yeah.
this summer.
I'm loving Absolute Power. Not a
Yeah.
lot of people like Amanda Waller, but
mm,
I'm all for Amanda Waller. I think
Yeah.
she's just wreaking havoc, and she's just not a great person at all.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ruining
I,
for
I like
everybody
Will Amanda
black.
Waller because she sticks to her guns. She's like, look, this is my job, and I'm doing my job by any means necessary.
Yep.
And I
I
like
haven't
people who get
read
results.
there's like a book Origins, Absolute Power Origins, and it goes
Hmm.
back to her like why she is the way she is. I
Yeah.
haven't read it yet. I'm curious, Jared, have you read it?
I've read that. Yeah.
How was the first issue? I don't know if it's a mini series or if it was a one shot, but
I think it's a one shot, but it is good. It goes into a lot of um her reasons for uh being how she is. It's a great story. Again, I'm rooting for everybody black, even if they
Mm.
has
right?
their
Good or
reasons,
bad.
yeah, good or bad. Um, but but yeah, I think that this may answer some of the questions that we have about why Amanda does what she does. So yeah, it was good. It was really
Mhm.
good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm putting me into a bunch of stuff that I want to try to check out because I've been trying to get back. I'm getting back into my comic reading because I can finally afford it again. And so I'm trying to find the sweet spot. Like, what do I read? Where are the good stories? So y'all put me onto some stuff. Um, if I could put our listeners on the one thing, it's not new, but it's one of my favorite anime, and I love it so much. And I'm rewatching it. I've been binging it this weekend. The reason it's on my mind, but it's called Overlord.
Oh,
And I think Overlord is isekai done right. Like isekai is like the kind of anime where like you have a person that goes to another world and that's where the adventure takes place. But it's being done so much now that it's kind of getting worn out. They beating a dead horse with it. But Overlord is from years ago, and it's the guy gets trapped in the video game. He becomes this like undying lich or whatever, and he's out for world domination. But it's not like he's just like spraying his power all over the place. He's like it's like real political. I love the power scaling in it because even though he's like the most powerful being in this world, there are some beings who like are close to where he is, but a lot of his problems can't be solved by him just going in and killing everybody. He has to like think things through. He has to use like his he has a bunch of helpers or whatever. He has to use his helpers to like help him figure stuff out because he's just a kid that got trapped in this body. And but everyone else sees him as, oh, you're the lich overlord, so you know everything. You supposed to be able to do everything. And he's like, well, I'm doing my best. But yeah,
yeah.
everything I feel like everything is done perfectly there. And rewatching it now for like maybe the third or fourth time, I'm seeing how one of the sticks, one of the themes in the show is that the NPCs that they created, the helpers that he has, they start to take on like the actual personalities and lore that they wrote for the characters when they created them. And then you can see that happening to him too. Because he's a kid, he's human, but now in this game, he's an undying lich. And, he's supposed to care about human life because he is human, but he's like, he'll think to himself, he's like, you know what? I've been killing like a lot of women and kids lately, and it doesn't bother me. And so you can
Yeah.
just see how that his character's lore is starting to like take over his personality too.
Overlord is really good because he is surrounded by demons and all these evil things who all
Mm-hmm.
thrive on doing evil stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the times he lets them. Like they say, "Can
Mm-hmm.
I torture this person?" He's like, "I don't care what you do." Or he's just like, "Sure, I don't care." But he does have those morality issues that balances it out so that, if you don't want to see the killings like DeMarcus, um, you can enjoy that. But yeah, Overlord
I
is
enjoy
really good.
a good killing, but just I don't like one time killing. Give it a purpose. I want to
Mm,
feel it.
mm.
I gotta check that out. I've never heard of that.
Oh, you
Yeah,
never heard
Overlord.
of Overlord? Oh my goodness. It's
Wait,
good.
when did it come out?
Man,
2014, I think.
yeah, Overlord is pretty old. I'm
Gotta
waiting
check
on
that.
season 5.
There's not going to be a
Oh, so it's not
season
even over
five.
yet. It's not done yet.
Oh, it is
No,
done.
it's
It's not.
not done yet. They're going to release a movie in October, I
Oh,
think,
I'm
Mm.
way behind.
which is the next chapter. But season five hasn't been announced yet. So we're
Okay, there's no
waiting.
release date for it yet. Don't say there's
Yeah.
not going to be a season 5, Jared. I almost flipped this desk.
All right, guys. So if that is that, we are going to take a quick break and come back with our special guest, Damien Becton.
BGEN.
Okay.
Jared, I'm trying to get back into my comics. I picked up a few things here and there, but I'm looking for something that I can like jump onto brand new, like start from issue 1 and start reading. Like, what you got? What do you got on your plate?
Actually, DeMarcus, nothing's good out. Nothing from Marvel, nothing from DC, nothing from Image. All this stuff, trash. Give it the Static Shock and make him ride it into the sunset. It is trash, everything. But what I am doing is I am gearing up for the few and far between. This comic book is going to be like Final Fantasy and Avatar and everything else. It's an original story with a lot of different nations in it. You have got to look into this book.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. Where can I find it? Where am I looking?
I could tell you, but we're going to have the actual creator of the comic, Damien Becton, tell you. Damien, take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, if you're interested, just like Jared said and DeMarcus, if you're interested for a story inspired by Final Fantasy, inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, starring a Black character, starring a true Black girl magic, go to the farbetweencomic.com. It'll take you directly to our Kickstarter page. You can pre-order it there. There's a lot of great things that we have in store. Again, if you're interested in a fantasy story starring a Black character, inspired by Final Fantasy, inspired by Avatar, go to farbetweencomic.com and hit that notify me on launch button or pledge today.
Okay, so I can pledge money today. I can start donating right now.
Well, the campaign starts August the 13th through the September the 12th. You can pledge, but that's when the campaign is.
All right, I'll wait. I guess I'll be patient. It's a few and far between.
So go to Far Between Comic right now, sign up, and get ready for the best store of your life.
And we are back with the best show in the land, Black Geek Energy, with our special guest, Damien. He's going to be telling us about one of his new projects coming up. But before we get into that, we got to start off fun. So we have a new activity. And yeah, we've never played this game before. This is going to be a versus game. And Damien, it's your first time on the podcast, so I'm going to explain to you how our games go. DeMarcus comes up with the games. He comes up with the answers. He judges whether the answers are right or wrong, and he decides who wins. So
Judge, jury, and
it's fun for
executioner.
everybody.
Wow.
Sounds good. Let's get it.
And so this one we're going to do a versus. So I am going to give y'all two comic book characters. If you're unfamiliar with the character, we can switch them out. But I've chosen a few matchups that I think are pretty good. You're going to explain to me why your chosen character would win in this fight.
Okay.
Yep. And I will decide whose explanation is the best. I am biased. I do like some characters more than others. So keep that in mind as you call your arguments. All right. So our first matchup, and I'll let y'all choose which character you want to defend. We have Deadpool versus Wolverine. Damien, as I guess you get to choose first. Who would you like to be?
All right. Okay. I'm thinking most people would go Wolverine,
All right.
but I'm going with Deadpool.
Okay. Jared, you are Wolverine. Damien, please. Why would Deadpool win this fight?
They have a lot of the same power sets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Deadpool because I believe his fighting ability and his ability to break the fourth wall will give him a sort of an advantage. I don't know what that advantage is, but I think he'll be able to use it to his advantage.
Okay. Any questions, Jared? You need to explore anything?
No.
From his answer? No?
Okay.
All right. Why would Wolverine win this fight?
Wolverine will win this fight because Wolverine has the training from Captain America that he would need to win this fight. He also was a part of the project, the Weapon X program, which they were sent around by the Canadian government to kill a lot of people in those superpowered positions. So he also has that training. Wolverine has gone up against Magneto, Apocalypse, even his own people, like Cyclops, who is a A-class tactician, Iron Man, and the list goes on. Wolverine has been here. He has the experience of being alive for over 200 years, since the 18 whatevers. He has been in 2 wars as a combatant. He has fought off his family. He has killed his children, and basically Wolverine is the best there is at what he does. Now, would Deadpool die in this fight? No, but Deadpool loses every issue of his own comic. So I don't see why or how Deadpool would win against this fight.
All right, Damien, questions, rebuttals, investigations.
I agree with Jared.
I got one question. You mentioned a lot of these fights that Wolverine has been in. Which one of these fights has he won? Because you say he goes up against Magneto. I don't think I've ever seen him beat Magneto.
So after Magneto pulled the adamantium out of his body, he went up against Magneto again with his bone claws. And he was able to get some strikes on him then. Granted, he was not alone, but he did overpower Magneto in this fight.
He wasn't alone.
No.
Okay. All right. All right. Jerry, I'm gonna still give it to you. You had a lot of good examples and explanations in there, but
right. Now, if Deadpool had the fourth wall breaking capabilities of Gwenpool, then it would be different. But Deadpool's fourth wall breaking capabilities aren't reality shattering like Gwenpool's are. So
okay. Well, there was that Deadpool Saves the Marvel Universe comic.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. All right. Next round, we got Static Shock versus Black Lightning. Jared, we're going to the last round. Who do you want who do you want to represent?
I gotta say, I would like to represent Black Lightning because I mean, I've read Static Shock. Um,
Hmm.
I gotta say Black Lightning. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Amy, you are static. Uh,
Good.
Jared, please start us off.
Uh, Black Lightning, he is the older person, so there's that experience there. Also, Black Lightning um was on Batman's team. So he does have that training, that tactician training from Batman. In the future, you see that Black Lightning is a god of sorts. He is nothing but an electrical being. Um, yeah, I
Mm.
also think that Black Lightning's powers are more massive, being able to affect the electrical currents, which is something I don't think Static Shock can do. Um,
What do
yeah,
you mean the electrical currents? What electrical currents?
uh, like like in the air, like he does this generate electricity. He can
Mm.
like affect the electricity from like
Mm.
appliances and stuff around it. But yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
have to go with Black Lightning.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Danny?
I'm gonna go with Static Shock a little bit because of the youth factor. I know you were saying Black Lightning is a
Mm.
little bit older, so I'm thinking Static Shock, 18, 17, 18, 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of youth, and he can use that youth. Just imagine like an NBA game, the old
Mm.
heads. It's a little bit past their prime. I'm thinking Static is one of the young bloods coming in,
Mm-hmm.
able to show them new different moves. And I think he's able to use, what did he used to fly on? He used to fly on like a
A
The
super
trash
disc.
can
Yeah,
lid.
skate.
yeah.
I think
Mm-hmm.
his ability to use different objects would give him an advantage. But I'm more. I think I'm going more with the youth as
Mm-hmm.
well. He's a young head. He's a young blood.
Yeah, I agree with that. That youth, he has more potential for growth in the moment. And if we're talking about future, in the future, Static Shock is also kind of like a guy on the Justice League teams and has also got that Batman training and whatnot. I'm gonna give it to Static. Yeah, yeah, because I think like while Black Lightning shoots a lot more electricity, I think Static is much more creative with how he uses his powers.
I mean, he has to be creative. He doesn't have that much power. And plus, LeBron, I mean, he's been in the Olympics since 2000, and he's still in the Olympics, winning golds and the MVP. So, I mean, I don't see any of the youth being up on LeBron's level. So, okay, whatever.
um, LeBron is he's like Batman, man. He's an anomaly. There's no one
Right.
like LeBron, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
guess.
All right, let's go. Let's go round three. We got Blue Marvel versus Captain Marvel. Damien, that's the winner of the last round. Who would you like to represent?
I'm
And
going
it could
Blue
be,
Marvel.
I'll say it could be any rendition of Captain Marvel.
Blue Marvel. I'm thinking Blue Marvel.
Excellent. All right, Jerry, you are Captain Marvel. If you and when it's your time to defend your selection, just make sure you let us know which Captain Marvel you are working with. So. Damien, if you don't mind, educate us about the Blue Marvel. Who is
Yeah.
he? What's the power
So
set?
Blue
Why would he win
Marvel
this?
is pretty much Superman, y'all. If you don't know Blue Marvel, and he has that. I was just using it as a detriment, but
Hmm.
he's the older. He has that experience. He's able to
Hmm.
do all of that.
Oh, okay, okay.
He
Oh,
has the
okay.
experience. We're talking about LeBron James of the Marvel universe right now.
Low key.
Blue Marvel. He's got it all. He has strength. He
Wow.
has flight. He can. He's number one. Marvel would be smart if they put him at the forefront of the universe.
And doesn't he
Exactly.
have like some atomizing? He can like control atoms
He
or
can
something like
control
that.
the ions.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And he's black. Don't leave that
and
out.
he's black,
And he's black.
and he's wise experience. He has all that.
Yeah.
The LeBron James. He has the white in his hair.
Mm-hmm.
Just forget what I said of the one round ago.
Yo, yesterday's scores don't affect today's ball game. All right, I like that. I like
Wow.
that. Jared, please. Which Captain Marvel?
Sorry, Jared.
Why would they win this fight?
I don't know. Captain Marvel, 616.
Okay.
She can absorb power, but it still hurts her.
Yeah.
Ah. But once she absorbs enough power, she becomes like ion, no binary. Or does she call herself
Yeah,
ion?
yeah, binary.
Do
I mean,
Got nothing.
you
I
not like
mean,
Captain Marvel?
I do, but I mean, I mean, look, I read these comments. I don't see how Captain Marvel can beat Blue Marvel. I mean, she was on the same team when Blue Marvel defeated Galactus, but
Mm,
Blue Marvel did all the talking. He's
mm,
attacked.
mm.
He's not only a cosmic being, he's also like the third smartest person in the Marvel universe.
Okay, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm just saying. Would it make a difference if it was Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel?
No, because because they like if they have power on the cosmic level and they're shooting it at Blue Marvel, like he just negates it. I
All
don't
right.
see how they could even hurt him.
Okay. All right. Maybe that was an unfair matchup. All
Yeah,
right, but
very unfair.
I don't think so. I think Captain Marvel can pull some shit out her ass.
How? Okay,
But yeah, we're
so
gonna give
so so
we're
you
gonna
be
give that to
Captain
Damien.
Marvel. How? Okay, so how?
I mean, she can absorb some of the power. I feel like I don't read it. I don't know a whole lot about Captain Marvel, which is why I gave it to you, Jared. I know you
So
know.
I just read Captain Marvel from this week. She absorbed a lot of
Mm-hmm.
power. After that, she was exhausted.
Mm. Okay. All right. Let's move on to round four. Let's move on to round four. I think a more even matchup. The
Okay.
Sentry versus Superman. Damien, you get to choose first.
I brain is going, or heart is going with Superman. I'm going with the Century.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's a smarter choice. So he has a little bit of an edge there.
Going
Jared,
Century.
you are you are representing our boy Kal-El.
All right.
Damien, please start us off.
All right. So the Century has been in the Marvel universe since the
I didn't
beginning,
know
the
that.
60s,
I didn't know
since
that.
Fantastic Four. But he was so powerful, so dangerous that they had to wipe him off. There was no trace of the Century up until 2000, but he was there the whole time,
Okay.
2001. He was so dangerous because he had the power of a million exploding suns. Just listen to that for a
Mm,
second. The power of a million exploding
just make
suns.
it tingle.
And if that isn't enough to overcharge Superman, then we can always go back to the Void. One of the things that the Century has is the Void, is this huge, dark, relentless power that is just nonstop engulfing everything.
Mhm.
Even Doctor Doom was afraid of him. The even the Cabal. If you don't know what the
Mhm.
Cabal is, it's the evil version of the Illuminati.
Mhm.
They were afraid of him, so they had to lock away the Void. I'm going with the Sentry slash the Void.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. The void. Yeah. I go ahead, Jared. Go ahead. I'll give my thoughts at the
The
end.
Sentry has the power of it of 10,000 exploding suns, and that's where Superman gets his powers from. They are
I, hey, I
they
knew when I said that I was kind of like, man, I messed up.
yeah. They are evenly matched, like in every
Mm,
way, even with the void. Superman has
mm,
defeated Darkseid, Doomsday. Even though, the Sentry ripped Ares in half, who is a god, Superman has gone up against God, the new gods and the old. The Game of Thrones reference. So they are very evenly matched. The only thing Superman has is his ability to hug. And Superman will give the Sentry a hug and talk him down. And they will be eating cookies, and he will be invited into the Kal-El house after their matchup.
Talk no jutsu.
Yeah. And then afterwards, he will go with Sentry to his first therapy session. That's the only thing that the Superman has to help him defeat the Void. So
you know what? I didn't expect that. Because Superman will hug somebody into submission.
yeah.
I'll give it to you, Jay. I was gonna say, I was gonna say I think they're evenly matched until you add the Void into the mix, because that's when I feel like all the suns and stuff stop being a factor, and now it's just all consuming power and darkness. But yeah, if you give Sentry a hug and he never changes to the Void, Superman got it. I'll give it to you, Jared. All right, last round. Last round. I think this is another very even matchup. Another DC Marvel. We have Batman and Captain America. Jared, you as the last round, you get to pick. Who do you want?
Captain
That's
America.
a good one. It's not gonna lie.
Captain America.
Because Jared doesn't like Batman or Captain America.
No, I never said I didn't like Captain America.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm going with Captain America.
Nah, that's what I wanted.
Oh, okay. Well,
All right, Damien.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Damien, you are
I
Batman.
got Batman, and I'll take Batman.
Jared, why would Captain America win this fight?
So I think that Captain America would win this fight because actually, in real life, this match has already happened before in the JLA Avengers crossover in the 90s, in the Elseworld comics, and Captain America won. Yeah, I think that if they were to use the updated versions of these characters, I think Captain America would still win because while Batman goes for everything but the kill, including broken bones and putting people into submission, Captain America also would not have I don't think that Captain America would be fought into submission with Batman. I have seen Batman lose more than I have seen Captain America lose. He wins by his tenacity, and he wins by his noble intentions. Batman doesn't win by noble intentions. He wins by forward thinking. So I think that Captain America has the slight on him because, he has that training on him. He has that experience on him. And he has fought and trained against the best people in the Marvel Universe. Captain America relies on his toy. Not Captain America. Batman relies on his toys a lot. All Captain America has is a shield. So I think that Captain America would win in this fight.
Is that not a toy? Is his shield not a toy?
It's a shield.
I'll let Damien decide. Damien, please. Why is Batman kicking Captain America's ass?
I think I'm not gonna lie. I would give the hand-to-hand combat to Captain America. I think they're both evenly matched. And overall, I think Captain America, Steve Rogers, is physically stronger than him. But I'm going to go back to what Jared was talking about. Even if they have no, idea who each other, they have no prior knowledge of it. They couldn't plan for each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go back to what Jared is saying. If there is a stalemate, I don't think Batman would hesitate to use those batarangs. I don't think Batman would hesitate to use those smoke bombs to
Mm-hmm.
gain an advantage and do what he has to do to to get the advantage to take him out. That's what.
Yeah.
But yeah, plus he has the
Yeah.
Bat family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do think Batman has a lot more tactics at his disposal than Captain America does. And that is part of that is having all the toys. And you're saying that Captain America has trained with the best folks in the Marvel universe. Batman has trained in like so many different styles of so many different things. He has so much at his disposal. He's going to figure out a way. I think. So I'm
Mm.
gonna give it to Damien, and Damien, that makes you today's winner. Let's go.
Yeah, as
Thank you, man.
usual. As usual. I'm the big loser.
All right. That was today's activity. Let us know what y'all think about that one in the comments. That one was called Versus. We might bring it back. We might not.
Yeah. DeMarcus, that was fun. But every 10 episodes, me and DeMarcus usually just have a less talk episode. Today, we have a special guest, Damien. Damien,
Yes.
you have a Kickstarter coming up, or is it already released? Can you tell us about this?
Yeah. First, I want to thank you, Jared and DeMarcus, for having me on. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys giving me a little bit of time to talk about this silly little project I got.
Mm.
But the comic that I got coming out, it's a sci-fi fantasy or more fantasy epic. I'm glad we were talking about it a little bit earlier because one of the influences that I had was Final Fantasy growing up. I loved Final Fantasy 7. I loved Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 10. All those came out, I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. But I have a comic coming out called The Few of Far Between. It's pretty much, this is my Final Fantasy. This is the Final Fantasy story that I've always wanted to tell, starring a Black girl. It's about a and I would say it's influenced by Avatar: The Last Airbender as well.
Okay.
So,
That's a
so
great
if you're
influence.
fans of Avatar and Final Fantasy, I think this would be a good comic for you. But it's starring a young Black girl named Jayada. I used to be a teacher. I'm an administrator now. But Jayada was a student that I had, I think my second year teaching, second or third year. I think she's in college now, or she's going to college. Shout out to Jayada. But it's about a relentless AI robot horde crash landing on the planet, on the magical world of Far Between. They have these different nations. They have the Animalia nation, where there's a bunch of beast warriors. They have this nation called the Mech Nation, where they're kind of transitioning from magic to mechanical stuff, to machines. And then they have Reveria, the Golden Queendom, which kind of still relies on magic. And it crash lands on this world. And they try to take over. And years pass, so they go to war. And that's kind of like the prologue. But we pick up maybe 10, 15 years later, where the world is still reeling from that initial invasion. And they're still trying to stop it. And only a couple of people so far can stop it. It's Jayada, who is a sorceress from a small village. She comes across Blueprint. Blueprint is a prototype of the robot that crash lands. That's a prototype, a friendly version, and he picks up on a signal that they can hear, or that he can hear, about somebody sabotaging the queendom. So Jayada reluctantly teams with Blueprint to go and save the world.
Nice. Oh, that sounds interesting. I like that. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it does sound interesting. It really, I'm sorry, but it really, you can hear the video game influences, especially when you are describing the different nations. in the world. Like I'm like, oh, I want to go to that part of the world. I want to go to the place where they're transitioning, and I want to see where
Yeah.
they first landed. So yeah,
You said the
that's really
Animalia Nation. I was like, that's the one I want to be in.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, like it was so fun to come up with all the stuff just because the stuff that we've been. I think we kind of grew up in the same spot. I was born in '91, y'all. And I think we kind of grew up with around the same stuff that because we were just been talking like Final Fantasy, like Avatar,
hmm
The Last Airbender, like
hmm
Korra, and just trying to create a world that isn't that's my own, but it's a world that you can see those influences. Because I really wanted to shout out Final Fantasy. I really wanted to
hmm
shout out Avatar, because those are the things that stuck with me 15, 20 years later. I still think about Cloud Strife, and I still think about
hmm
Aang, for whatever reason. But it's really fun to come up with those things, and I'm really proud of this story that we came up with.
No, no. Did you play the Final Fantasy remake?
Yeah,
Nice.
I finished it. I finished Rebirth recently. And
hmm
then I went straight into Final Fantasy IX because like I gotta experience this again because there's rumors that they're remaking Final Fantasy IX.
Mm.
So I wanted to replay it. But I loved the remake and Rebirth. Honestly, I loved it. The original will have a special place in my heart, but even the new one, I'm like, man, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. So can you tell us more about I guess I want to know like what kind of story are you trying to tell with this comic, with this series? And then how are these influences going to show up, like the Final Fantasy and the Avatar influences?
Yeah. So really, the story that I'm trying to tell, I always want to start every time I come up with a concept, I'll come up with a cool concept in my brain, but
hmm
I don't really kind of progress or try to really develop the story unless I have a character arc for those
Mm.
characters. So I really start with the characters. So really, this whole fantasy world that I'm trying to build, it's really just a story about learning to trust. It's really a story about learning from the past. It's really a story about Jayada, who's the black sorceress, the young black sorceress. Um, she had a lot of grief from the initial alien invasion. She lost a lot of people.
hmm
So when she meets Blueprint, she's kind of hesitant. She's like, "No, I'm not messing with you. I'm gonna try to kill you. You're a
Yeah.
robot."
Yeah.
But Blueprint is he's trying to help. So throughout the story, throughout the first few issues, or throughout the first arc, we kind of get that hesitancy. We kind of get um, that animosity towards Blueprint, Jayada towards Blueprint, and
hmm
then they kind of build that friendship. She learns to trust. Hopefully, she learns to trust.
hmm
Hopefully, she sees if I do my job well, then we'll see her connect with these different characters that she initially didn't trust, didn't like. But beyond that, it's you'll really see it with the world, the magic that
hmm
they use. She's even because there's not too many magic users in this world. Of course, they
hmm
use magic, but not everyone is as skilled as Jayada. She's a natural,
Yeah.
and she's able to use these ice powers. She's able to manipulate them way better than anyone who's been practicing can. But you'll see it through the spells they use. You'll see it through the imagery. Rosario Mendez is the artist, and I
Mm.
asked her to collaborate with me because once I looked at her art,
Yeah.
I kind of got that avatar, that fantastical world that I wanted to build.
Love it. I love it. Nice.
Now, what
Okay.
I want to talk about is your writing process because I recently wrote a horror movie, as we have been talking
hmm
about on this podcast. And I just want to know, how did you capture these different character voices? Because that's something I had issues with. I was like, okay, this person doesn't talk like this, so how can I get them to sound like how they sound in my head and transfer that to this page?
Yeah, and dialogue is one of the things um, that I really get a lot of feedback on, or I try to get a lot of feedback on, because you want them to sound authentic. You want them to sound like real people. So one of the things that I would recommend for anyone who's getting into writing, and I don't claim to be a super professional. I'm still learning. But I would absolutely get someone to edit it, someone to look at it, just to get some feedback. But for characters, I really, just like you, Jared, I want them to sound real. I want them to sound authentic. So I really start with that. Even though this character is, I have nothing, say Batman, for instance, you would initially think I have nothing in common with Batman. I'm not white. I'm not
Mm,
rich.
mm,
I'm not super intelligent. I'm not genius level intelligent.
mm,
But you have to, well, in my case, I try to find at least one core um, similarity that I have. I don't, I love my family.
mm,
If I did write a Batman book, it would be about, I guess it would be about family.
mm,
He would do anything for his family, so I would try to find that within myself, and then play with the dialogue from there. What situations can I put Batman in to make him show that he cares about his family, or he would
mm,
do anything, or is he willing to cross the line, whatever his line is? What is his line when it comes to family?
mm,
But yeah, that's what I generally try to start with, the characters first. I don't know if you guys ever played or watched The Last of Us, uh,
mm,
but the creator Neil Druckmann, he's always said something that stuck with me. It's simple plot, complex characters. And so
mm.
that's how I generally try to start off. What is the goal? Or what is the conflict? But I don't think any story could be super um, can't stand on its own without engaging characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
Right.
that makes complete sense. Yeah, and
Right.
I love a character driven story. I love for a world to be changed by its characters and sort of molded by the characters that are in the world as they through it. That's what it sounds like you're going for here. So
Yeah,
I okay.
absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Let me see. Oh, you got another question, Jared?
no, I mean, you can go ahead.
Uh, no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Still
So,
marinating.
another thing I want to talk about is you said that this has a lot of magic, and I love magic and
Uh,
stories. Can you kind of give us, because I know you want us to be surprised when we read it, but can you kind of give us a little short, you know, spoiler of how the magic system in your world works?
yeah. So not everyone in Far Between. Far Between is the name of the world. I just like how it sounded.
Hmm.
It was initially the story was going to be called Few and Far Between.
Hmm.
But then I liked the word. I liked how Far Between sounded. It sounded very magical, fantastical. But on the world of Far Between, um, there are some magic users and there aren't, and it comes from the world. They learn it. There's these mystical arts, but in each nation state or each land, not every land,
Hmm.
but just like and you'll see this. This is my Final Fantasy influence coming in. But there are summoners.
Hmm.
There are a few people who are able to summon these deities, these quote gods, to protect them. And as we get further into Far Between, you'll see that that's how some of these nation states or these nations were able to defend themselves from
Hmm.
from Terraframe, which is the evil robot horde that comes crash landing. They were able to summon these deities. The Mech Nation, since they're moving away from the magic, they didn't have that. So we'll
Hmm.
learn that they kind of fell in the initial invasion.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Okay.
That's not a huge spoiler. But they initially fell. But the Animalia and Reveria, the Golden Queendom, they summon these deities. And we'll learn that Jayada may or may not be able to do that as well. She's able to cast these spells. She's able to use them. but it takes a really powerful sorceress or sorcerer to summon these deities.
Cool.
And but yeah, so the summons are a huge thing too, or these
Yeah.
deities, powerful deities, a huge Final Fantasy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That
definitely
sounds cool.
sensing the Final Fantasy 9, and it sounds really interesting. Even though they can't draw out magic from their enemies and use it for their next
That is Final
abilities.
Fantasy 8, right?
Yeah, that's Final Fantasy 8.
I remember that. I remember that. The draw system. I forgot about. They did have a good
Hmm.
card game. I remember playing. I forgot Triple Triad, or is that Final Fantasy 9?
No, no.
Mm.
Final Fantasy 8 had one. I don't remember what it was called, but
But
yeah.
yeah, they had to
Mm.
draw from their enemies, and there's like little places in the open world where you can
Yeah,
draw from. Yep,
yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah,
Damn. I need to go play Final Fantasy VIII.
You
it's
haven't played it yet?
No, I haven't played it, Jared. It
So
came out
you
20
have
years
all
ago.
this to say about Final Fantasy 8, and you
Yes.
haven't played it yet.
Well, I had never met anyone besides you who had played it.
That's crazy.
Jared, explain to me how a gunblade works because it looks cool, but I have no idea
So,
how
so,
how
so,
practical it is.
so when you hit somebody with it, it goes off. So it's not like a ranged weapon. It goes off when you hit somebody with it.
Oh, okay.
So if you hit somebody at like, if you shoot at the right moment, then like you get a critical attack or whatever.
Yeah. And
So
so
when,
there is like a timing system on there too. Like when
hmm
you attack with Squall, you do have to press a button. And
yeah,
okay, yeah, I do remember that.
Hmm.
see? It's very
Interesting.
interesting. I
Okay.
don't know why people don't like this game. It's the best game. It's about orphans who have to join military schools that flow over the continent. Like it's amazing.
Okay. All right, Jared. All right. Um, I had another question about the comic. I guess what age group is this story for? Are we
Mhm.
gonna are we looking at something more like for preteens and kids? Is it more like an adult and we're gonna see like a lot of blood and gore, a lot of cursing, or somewhere in between?
Yeah, and that's funny because I was able to pitch this book to a publisher,
Hmm.
and I pitched it as a middle grades kind of story. Actually,
Mm,
I kind of pitched it um, as a graphic novel, similar to Amulet.
Hmm.
If you don't know what Amulet is, it's a very popular scholastic book, and it's aimed at maybe fourth grade to sixth grade. But it got declined, which is fine, you know. But I told myself I'm gonna make this book anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, but I really wanted to capture that Avatar kind of vibe.
Mhm.
And I really wanted to capture that Final Fantasy. So I wouldn't say it's you're not gonna in my other books you would read a lot of well, not a lot, some profanity. In this
Mhm.
one, it's more, I would say it's more of a PG to PG-13 kind of story.
Okay.
And that's really what I was going for. I wanted to the people who grew up on Avatar, I wanted them to kind of get reminded of that while being able to, say, hey, students that I'm currently uh, in school with,
Hmm.
I'm able to bring this to the kids at the school that I'm at, and it would be age appropriate for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm kind of walking that line of PG and PG-13.
mhm.
Okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah. Let me just ask, you have other comics that you have written besides this in Nottingham. Can you describe? I think I saw one that's like a horror kind of comic or something. Can you kind
Mhm.
of describe that one?
Yes, that one was Try Not to Die.
Try not to die.
And
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to Kenneth Laster, who is such a talented artist. He's in Atlanta and he is so talented. If you guys go to try not to the number two die.net, you can see our old Kickstarter, which was fun
Mhm.
last year. Hopefully we can get started on issue 2 soon, but Try Not to Die was a horror comic. And we pitched it as an omni horror comic. And Kenneth was so great. He was so talented. The cover is so good. But it's about um, characters from old horror movies, from Scream, from Shaun of the Dead, from Halloween, from Get Out.
Hmm.
They're all taken by this powerful entity, and they have to compete to stay
Ooh.
alive. So there it's like Squid Game meets Cabin in the Woods. They're all brought together, and they have to either work together, or not work together to survive each other's killer. So the first issue, I loved it so much. This character from Halloween, the babysitter, we called it the babysitter. We made her black though because we wanted to make her black.
Of course, of
So
course.
it wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis. It was a black woman. And then we had Drew Barrymore, or quote Drew Barrymore from Scream, and then Ed from Shaun of the Dead, and then Chris Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out. They're put into a world, an Evil Dead world, and they have to kill. They have to destroy the Necronomicon, or in our book, we call it the Black Bound Book. Um,
Mm.
and if they win, they survive. Um, but
Yeah.
not everyone survives.
Nice.
So there's kind of it's a chance at redemption. It's a chance. What would you do if you had a second chance to live?
Mm.
So it's kind of that kind of story as well. But I had a really fun time writing that, and hopefully we can make more of that.
Yeah.
Dope.
There was a comic recently about musicians as guides. This is giving me that kind of vibe. I forgot what the comic is called.
I missed I missed that one. I'm not sure.
Oh, The Wicked and the Divine. The Wicked and the Divine.
Oh,
That was a
yeah.
very good comic by who was that by? Let me see. It was by
I forgot
Kieran
his name
Gillen.
now.
By
Yeah,
Kieran
Karen
Gillen.
Gill
Yeah. That was a
and
very good
Jamie
comic.
McKelvey, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, yes,
Yes.
exactly.
I have the first issue, but I dropped off. I don't know why I dropped off of that one.
Yeah, yeah, you got to
Okay.
pick
I
it
remember
back
that when
up.
that was coming out, The Wicked. Yeah. So you have like a body of work, Damien. Do your other works start to spill into this new one that
Oh,
you're
it's all the
writing?
same universe.
I wish I was that talented. Um, I would say uh, my personal life
Yeah.
kind of spills into it. And I'm not saying like my relationships or my girlfriend or anything like that. It's just little things that I've experienced. Even students that I've met, you get kind of hints of them because the stories that I learned from a lot of the kids. Um, a lot of them don't come from great places, but they come to school. A lot of them try their best.
Hmm.
They have a lot of baggage with them. And a lot of it is inspiring. A lot of it is demoralizing.
Mm.
A lot of it is infuriating because some of them can be difficult.
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of that stuff that I learned from the students, I kind of put in to what I'm writing. Just like Jayada in Far Between,
Hmm.
she's very much like the Jayada that I knew from my second year teaching. She'll let you know what's on her mind.
Mm.
She's very confident, even though she might not be the best at it. She knows what she's doing.
Hmm.
Even if she doesn't know what she's doing, she's going to act like she knows what she's
There
doing.
you go. Okay.
So a lot of that gets in there, and a lot of it are shout outs to the people that I've met too, just because they've been huge influences in my life.
Hmm.
Cool. Does Jayada know she's in the comic? Have you talked?
Um, I don't know. She follows me on Instagram,
Okay.
but I don't know. A lot of times I'll send it to him. I don't think I sent this to Jayada yet.
Hmm.
But a lot of the stories, like I had a Zaire in one of my other books called Worlds Away. Zaire, he's about to go play football
Oh,
actually at
nice.
App State. Um, and I sent it to him, and he just showed love because he's an adult now. I
Yeah.
met him when he was in sixth grade. But yeah, so a lot of that will show up in the work. But hopefully they do see it. I might send it to Jayada
Yeah.
soon.
That's dope. 'Cause if one of my teachers hit me up now, hey, I'm writing a story and you're in it, and your name is still DeMarcus, I'm like, I got to read that today.
And that's what it's for, man. Because like I said, there's a lot of education is tough, y'all, and it's very tiring. But it's a lot of times it's worth it. It's very much worth it because you get to meet these different people, the kids. Hopefully, you have an effect on their life in a positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom is in education. My aunts and uncles are all in education. I'm a big person for educators. So thank you for doing what you do.
Because I could not do it.
Who you tell? But like, what got you inspired to be an educator?
Um, Honestly, to be an educator, it was I didn't know what else to do when I was in
Mm.
college. And then I
Oh, where'd you
found out
go?
that was that?
Oh, sorry, where'd you go?
Oh, South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mm.
so South
middle
Carolina
of
State or
no, South Carolina. Oh, upstate.
oh, okay, okay,
So
okay.
a lot of my friends went to state. If y'all don't know, state is a HBCU.
We
A
You
lot
definitely
of my
know.
know.
yeah.
We played against them.
A lot of my friends went there, but I went to USC Sumter, which was the community college, and then
Ooh.
I
Mm.
transferred over. But I didn't know what else to do. I went into the education program. Hopefully, something would stick. I found out that I was pretty good at it, and
Hmm.
then I learned to like it. And I'm very thankful that I got into education. I don't get paid, and I'm not gonna lie to you,
Mm.
but I don't get paid enough. I don't get
I
paid enough,
know.
Yeah.
We know,
but
man.
it's really a fulfilling career.
Yeah. Dope. What I don't think you told us what subjects you teach.
I taught six. I I got my degree in elementary education. So I was when I graduated, I was certified second through sixth grade
Hmm.
in all subject or all core subjects:
Oh, nice.
math, science, social studies, and English. When I got hired out of college, I got hired in sixth grade English, and since then I taught sixth grade English for 8.5 years,
Hmm.
and then I got into administration. Now I'm what they call a dean. A
Hmm.
dean is pretty much just in CMS Charlotte is just an assistant principal, but I don't get paid like an assistant principal.
Yeah.
But I'm sixth grade. I'm the sixth grade administrator at my school. So all 10 years has been sixth grade English, and now sixth grade administration.
Mm.
Nice. Okay, very cool. Oh,
So
you
my
gonna add something?
my mom and my grandma is from Florence, South Carolina.
Okay.
Um, so we were usually in Sumter a lot.
Oh,
And
dope. See,
yeah.
if you don't know, Sumter, people from Sumter, the middle of nowhere, Sumter, they go to Florence when they want to go out.
And Florence just got in Olive
Mm.
Garden like 10 years ago. So
Shut up.
yeah. Okay, you guys. I think that this is all that we want to talk. Oh, unless Damien, we've been badgering you with all these questions. Is there anything that you want to talk about on this episode?
Um, I think we hit everything. If you guys want to go to farbetweencomic.com, it'll take you directly to the Kickstarter page, the pre-launch Kickstarter page. You get to see a preview of the covers. You'll
Ooh.
see a very Final Fantasy-like cover for the Few and Far Between #1. So that's farbetweencomic.com. You'll see the covers, some preview pages. We're trying to get 150 followers before we launch. We're currently at 89 followers. So
90.
please, we're at
I can
90.
follow.
Oh, so sometime between 3 o'clock and 4:22, we got a follower.
Ooh.
So if you guys go to farbetweencomic.com, if you're interested, if you're an Avatar watcher, if you're a Final Fantasy player, if you're a comic book reader, we'd love to join you. Well, love to have you join us rather. Click that notify me on launch button and you'll get an
Mhm.
email once we do launch. And when you do launch, there's some early bird rewards that you can get a discount And yeah, but other than that, I think I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Farbetweencomic.com. Farbetweencomic.com. Thank you, Jared, for
Hey.
letting me shout that out. I appreciate you.
Yep.
Of
I'm
course,
already I'm
and we're
already
gonna
following. I can't wait.
yeah,
Thank you,
and
man.
we're gonna shout it out again on this episode. But let's take a
Hmm.
quick break and come back, and we are gonna ask Damien some quick fire questions.
Oh, we haven't been asking questions this whole time.
Let's get it.
I'm just playing. All
DeMarcus.
right.
What happens when a relentless robotic AI horde crash lands on a world full of fantastical creatures and magic wielding sorcerers? Find out in The Few of Far Between #1, now available for pre order on Kickstarter. Written by Mad Cave Studios talent search winner Damien Becton and drawn by Rosario Mendez.
Wait, Matt, what's happening? We haven't even started the episode yet, and you're already doing dramatic synopsis reads?
Yeah, brother. I just found out about this awesome Kickstarter for The Few of Far Between. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't. Tell me more.
In this thrilling fantasy sci-fi comic, a black magic wielding sorceress who reluctantly allies with a friendly, inferior version of the robots, leading a chosen few to prevent complete takeover. When these characters learn of a plot to sabotage the queendom that keeps them safe, fates get crossed, friendships are built, trust gets tested, and, of course, lots of thrilling fantasy sci-fi action.
Oh, Billy, that sounds fun. How can people support this comic?
Go to farbetweencomic.com to go directly to the Kickstarter campaign and sign up for pre-launch, or pre-order digital or physical copies of The Few of Far Between #1 today. That's www.farbetweencomic.com. Campaign ends September 5th.
All right. So now it's a time where we ask our special, amazing guest, Damien Becton. Becton, I'm so sorry. Some questions. And how this goes is I'm going to ask you some questions. It's usually like one word answers. You can explain your answer if you want to, but you don't have to because this is a quick fire. So if you
Sounds
want
good.
to, now I may give you a look like, but and I may be like, what you talk about? But okay, we're gonna see how this goes. It's 17 questions. Let's go. What superpower would you have?
Super speed.
Mm.
Hmm.
Fair. That's fair. That's a fair look.
No, that's a good answer. I like no judgment here.
Okay.
Would you do
Cool.
everything fast?
Wow.
Hope then I don't gotta rush. If I can type fast and do all my paperwork fast, I'll be so happy. So happy.
Mm.
Okay. 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 Professor X or Magneto?
Magneto.
Right answer. Who is your favorite Black playable character in video games?
Gotta go with Barrett from Final
Yep.
Fantasy 9.
Yep.
It's the one.
7.
7. Final Fantasy 7. He's
Yeah.
one of the few
One of
Mm-hmm.
the
Black
few.
characters in Final Fantasy. So I had to shout him out.
Yeah. Yeah. What character in comics do you want to write?
Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier.
Wow. Okay.
I
Didn't expect that
love,
answer.
yeah, I loved Bucky Cap. I don't know if you get, I mean, I loved Bucky Cap. I love that they made, I'm sorry for sidetracking y'all. I love that they're
No,
making
you're
Sam
good.
Wilson Captain America in the movies. But the whole time I can't wait for Bucky Cap. I can't wait for Bucky Cap. But we still get Sam Cap. So we're getting
Mm-hmm.
Falcon Cap. So I'm still good.
We rooting for everybody black.
Okay. Okay. That's a good answer. Is Batman a supervillain?
No.
Okay. Well, some of these answers can be wrong. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Okay, finally. Everybody's always like Star Wars, but
Because that's the
that's
only one that matters. Go ahead.
no, that's the
It's
only
not my.
one because they only seen Star Wars. They haven't even seen Star Trek.
I've
Star
Star
seen
Trek is
both.
Trek.
very good.
Star Trek came first. Just
Yeah, Star
saying.
Trek came first. Yeah. All right.
Hmm.
Martin or Living Single?
Martin.
Yes.
Hey, I was just watching Martin on what is it?
Hmm.
GTD. I was just watching it, man.
Yeah. Okay. Was Avatar Korra a good Avatar?
Yes.
I'm sorry. What?
Yes. Yes.
I disagree. Some of these can be wrong, I guess.
What say you, Jared?
It was a
No?
good show.
Yeah, I definitely say no. She was the worst Avatar in
Uh,
history of avatars. Okay, I gotta ask, why do you say yes?
You put the notebook down. He's like, you gotta explain this.
you know, it's she maybe I guess it's just the show. I guess just thinking about it.
Great show.
Um,
Great
Yeah,
show.
great show.
okay. I see and I'm very far removed from Cora. Um but thinking back, hold on, why do you guys say no then? What first thing that comes to your mind? Why?
He
First thing
destroyed
that
the line of avatars. We
Yeah.
had
first thing,
thousands of years of avatar experience, and it's all gone because of her.
yeah.
Okay. Fair
She
enough.
lost every battle that mattered. That's the second thing.
But that can't but the character arc.
It did. It did. It
It
was a
did,
great
it
character arc.
did.
Great show.
Okay,
But she
yeah.
still
Horrible
lost.
avatar.
She still
Okay,
lost.
I
And her
see.
losing affected the world. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I do
Wow.
think that, you know, the question that I'm answering is, was it a good show?
oh yeah, yeah, it
Which
was a
was
great
yes.
show.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
So no, I'm changing my answer. No.
Okay.
Glad we could educate you.
Yeah. Um, okay. Who who are your favorite anime characters to ship?
Oh, okay. So now I'm not gonna lie to you. Anime, uh, I'm the mainstream anime. If you ask my brother, he'll be able to tell you more about it. But
Mhm.
growing up, it was just the one everyone talks about: Dragon Ball Z and
Mhm.
Naruto.
If it's on
Uh,
Cartoon Network, you watching it.
yeah, it was on it was Toonami.
Sir.
That was my thing. Vegeta's my favorite character.
Mhm.
Yamcha kind of sucks, but I feel bad for him.
Mm,
So I'm shipping Yamcha and Bulma again, just
Wow.
just so he can have a redemption arc because
yeah.
he was so cool in Dragon Ball. He was so nice
Yeah.
in
He was the
Dragon
man in
Ball,
Dragon Ball.
and then he turned into a little, I don't know, man. Just Vegeta came in and Nappa came in, but I love Vegeta though.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
love Vegeta, but Yamcha and Bulma.
Okay.
Okay.
I can understand.
Best Black sitcom theme song.
I go Fresh Prince, right? Fresh
Okay.
Prince. That's iconic. That's iconic. I use that in my lessons.
Oh.
Oh, West
Really?
Philadelphia.
That's iconic right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Adventure Time or Steven Universe?
That's an easy one for me. I haven't gotten on the Steven Universe train, but
Oh.
I loved Adventure Time. I loved Adventure Time.
Sir.
That's a
Yes,
I
sir.
would say that's another one of my influences for Far Between. That
Mhm.
crazy
Very
world that
crazy.
just and I loved Adventure Time.
Yeah. You got to put Steven Universe in the background because it will make you cry. Yeah.
I need
Especially
to.
when
I really do want to watch that. That's the plan.
yeah. Okay. What is your favorite comic book arc?
I'm going superheroes again, and I'm gonna talk about what we just talked about is Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier. If you, but I'll stop there. Bucky Barnes, the death of Captain America when he
Mm.
became Captain America, that was iconic for me. I love Bucky Cap.
Okay. Um, Bucky Cap used a gun, right?
He had the strap on him.
Yeah.
He had the strap on him.
Okay. Who is the better dad, Goku or Vegeta?
Better dad. Oh god. I'm going I'm going Vegeta
Hmm.
We agree.
because
Okay.
Piccolo is kind of Gohan's dad.
Are
Ah.
are are you a what is your education style like? Goku, Vegeta, or Piccolo?
In the classroom, I'm definitely Goku. In the classroom, I'm definitely Goku. I'm nice until I'm not. Until I had to shut the class down a few times.
Mm.
That's it. Nope. Y'all not doing anything. Y'all not listening.
Mm.
And but they love me too. Well, I like to think that they love me. So I'll say Goku. I was very nice until I wasn't.
Mhm.
Okay. What's your favorite video game theme song?
Man. Oh Lord. Um I see my mind goes straight back to Final Fantasy VII. But the
Yo,
Final Fantasy VIII, I love and Final Fantasy X. There's the battle theme in Final Fantasy X. Dun, 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 dun,
Mm.
yep,
dun,
yep,
dun. I would say Final Fantasy X, the battle theme song.
yeah,
That's iconic too.
that is iconic.
Mhm.
And shout out to No Bietsu Uematsu, the composer for Final Fantasy
Oh,
until
Nobuo
he
Uematsu.
Nobuo Uematsu. Wow, I butchered
Oh
that.
boy, Derek, don't ever say another name again.
Um, who is your favorite black superhero?
Mm, 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 mm. I like, you know, I'm thinking a lot of people would go Black Panther, especially since, Chadwick Boseman, which is a great answer.
Mhm.
Uh, I would go Storm. I love Storm. She's an Omega level mutant.
Mhm.
And one of the things that happened recently, sorry for explaining this, but she's like a thunder god. She picked
Mm.
up Thor's hammer. She was part of the Thor squad in a
Wow.
recent issue of Thor. It was
Mhm.
just different Thors with Storm beating somebody up. I forgot
Yeah.
who it was.
It
But I'm
was
going
Okay.
Storm.
the
Oh, the like Utgard
yeah,
Thor or
the
something,
Utgard
like the
door or
super
something like that.
Thor.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an amazing story. And the best part of that was when Thor used his all powers to summon her. Thor was
Yeah.
like, "Don't you ever pull me out from what I'm doing on Mars again. Do you
Cool.
know who
Yeah.
I am?"
That's
Oh,
exactly
Thor,
what she was like.
yeah, Storm was mad. He said, "Don't you ever do that again. You call first."
I love
Okay, I
Storm.
gotta read that too, man.
Yeah,
Y'all are so much more on the comics than I am. I would love to
yeah.
see that
She's
story.
gonna be in the new
Avengers.
Avengers
Yeah.
team in the next couple
Mm.
months. She's like
No, it's
right.
the next issue.
Oh, the next issue. Go
Yeah,
get it this issue this month.
yeah.
Mhm.
Next issue. She's in
I
there.
love Storm, man.
Like how can you not? How can you not? She literally lets anybody have it. When Professor
Mhm.
X tried to go into her mind, she blocked him and was like, "Yeah, you taught me
Mm-mm,
how to use that for telepaths who are evil." And then
mm-mm,
Professor X stood there crying.
mm.
Okay, but that was in the Krakosha. Y'all didn't read Krakosha, so. But yes, Storm became Regent of Mars. Oh, if you love Storm, you will
Oh, I gotta go get it
love
then.
Krakoa. Because that's how she became an Omega level mutant.
Hmm.
Is
Was
Like
in
she
going to
Krakoa.
Mars?
Huh? What you say?
By going to Mars, she
She
became Omega?
became officially an Omega level mutant at the beginning of the Krakosha era.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Okay, so
So
just kind of follow the mainstream Krakoa, because like I said, I love Storm.
yeah, y'all gotta read
Okay.
Krakoa because Storm levels up and she has some amazing one-liners and her story arc is insane. All right. Uh back to these. You have two more left. Who is your favorite character who isn't black?
Who's black but not black?
Yeah.
Who's in? um, I keep going back to the same answers, man. I love Bucky Cap, man. I love James. That's my boy, and he's like, because his whole redemption arc was, he was brainwashed by Hydra, and all he wanted to do was redeem himself, even though he thought he shouldn't. Like no, I wanted to go, but Iron Man said, "Hey, I need you to take up the mantle." He did that, and he did so to the best of his ability. But I love Bucky Cap. I would say Winter Soldier. I don't know if he's invited to the cookout, but he's invited to my cookout.
Okay. So pick somebody like who did we say? We said like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or
Yeah.
Panther, but somebody who is not
You
colored with
phrased the
that
question wrong
peach.
that time, Jared.
Yeah, I read the
Said
question
favorite
wrong
character
also.
who is not black. The question is, who is your favorite character who is black but not black?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
who
how I
is
usually.
black but not black? Oh,
They're
okay.
Yeah,
not
like
black on
Skeeter or
screen, but
something.
like Piccolo, like we know Piccolo's black.
Oh, I was gonna say Piccolo. Oh, let's see. Who is black but not black?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me look around. Who's black but not black? You said Skeeter. You said
Yeah.
Skeeter from
Like
Doug.
Skeeter, yeah, like from Doug, yeah.
Oh, snap! Skeeter from Doug. Yeah.
Like Panthro, like
Anthro
Panthro black
black.
mechanic.
Man. I would say who else? You took like two good answers, three good answers. Who else am I missing? Dang. I guess I'll go with Skeeter from Doug, man, until I think of
Yeah.
something else. Skeeter from Doug.
Yeah. There's a lot of good answers to that question.
I feel like Skeeter should have had his own spinoff show.
He should have.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. He is why I tuned in to Doug and his underwear outside of his. Who was that? Quail Man?
Quail Man.
Doug was the worst show. Besides Killer Tofu, Doug was the worst show. All right. Last question. Who is your favorite rapper turned actor?
Man, I thought you were just gonna say rapper. You said
Drake.
rapper. I would have said Big Crit.
Okay.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Rapper turned actor. Let's see. Let me Google it real quick.
Okay. Take your time.
Because right now, the only one that's coming to my mind is Will Smith. But
he's a valid choice though. Like one of the best.
Yeah. I think he's the only one who won an Oscar.
Yeah. Most talented actor. Okay, I'm looking at a few of them now. Most talented actor, absolutely, it would be Will Smith. But my favorite rapper who changed to acting, I'm looking at it right now. I would say Ludacris. I love Ludacris, man.
Yeah. Chris Lover.
I love word of mouth. That was
yes,
my
sir.
Yeah. But absolutely, Will Smith is probably the most talented. Ludacris is probably my favorite rapper of the ones that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed Ludacris the most. I enjoyed Ludacris's acting the most.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that concludes the quickfire segment. I added in an extra special question in there, so it was really 18. But yeah, that's gonna conclude our episode. Damien, like have we ever talked to somebody who was just good on this show before? Like
you were great, man.
Yeah.
Well, also, just like how freeform it was. Yeah, it was great.
Thank
And
you. I appreciate that. Thank you all for having me on.
yeah,
Thank y'all
and
for
Yeah.
having me
also
on.
like it's so easy to talk to you, and you are doing such amazing things. Like you're an educator, you
Mm-hmm.
are leading the way for these young people, these Gen Alphas who all that I think that they want to do is go on TikTok and dance.
That's
And
absolutely, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's all it is.
and and you are also working on these amazing, enjoyable worlds that are a lot of our different fandoms. So you are doing such amazing, talented things. And I implore you to keep doing what you're doing. And
Mhm.
everybody else to go and donate to his Kickstarter and sign up on his website. Tell them the website one more
Mhm.
time and tell them how they can find you.
Yeah, it's farbetweencomic.com. If you go to farbetweencomic.com, it'll take you straight to the Kickstarter pre-launch page. We're trying to get 150 pre-launch followers. Last time I checked, my boy DeMarcus said it was 90. Hopefully it'll go up a little bit after this. But farbetweencomic.com, you can find me on Twitter or X. It's at Damien Becton. On Instagram, at Becton. Again, thank you, DeMarcus. Thank you, Jared, for having me on. I appreciate y'all very much.
Oh, no problem. This was an amazing episode. And
Mhm.
you can find us. You can email us at blackgeekenergy@gmail.com. You can go to our Instagram and TikTok, Black Geek Energy, or our Twitter, because his mama called him Twitter. We're gonna call him Twitter. BGE underscore pod. DeMarcus, do you have any final words?
Um, this was a great episode. I love to have new creators on the show, especially when they're black and they're creating dope stuff like this comic. The few are far between. I'm excited to read it. I'm gonna donate to the Kickstarter. Y'all should too. And we're gonna have more creators out there. So if you are a creator, hit us up. We'll have you on the show. We'll promote your work. Do the commercials, everything. Like we are so about getting more black creators out there and building those audiences.
Right, right. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining this episode. And until next week, that's it for Black Geek Energy. Bye.
BGE out.
Okay.
What's happening, my fellow geeks out there? It's a new year. Welcome to 2024. New me, or the same you. However you want to play it this year. I am here to tell y'all that I am in a much better space mentally, and a lot of that is due to getting, I'm not going to say the help I need, but having someone to talk to objectively, like that third party who's just there to give you advice and not really trying to put their own judgment on you, and also like kind of helping you, think through some of your thoughts. Maybe you're an external processor, maybe not. But you can do all of these things with BetterHelp.com. So you can be in the same place I am. You can be in a better place than I am. You can improve the way you think and the way you approach situations just by having someone to talk to about it that is not there to judge you, that is available at the send of a text, that you can switch them out if it's not working. If they're not giving you the advice you need, you can just say, hey, better help, give me someone else, and they'll find you someone else to partner with. Tell you it's an amazing service. And if you tell them we sent you, you're going to get a discount. Because why would we tell you to go if we're not going to hook you up? So go to betterhelp.com/BGEpod and tell them DeMarcus sent you.